Hi everybody and welcome to an Age of Fantasy Skirmish battle report. Saurians versus Mummified Undead. A while back I made my unboxing and review of the King's Wrath 2-player starter set from Onepagerules featuring Saurians and Mummified Undead, and I also made a first battle between these two armies. If you haven't seen any of those two videos, I'll put links in the description, and I will also make a spoiler warning now, because I will tell you how things went in the first battle very shortly. So, watch the video now and come back. Yes, so in the first battle, the king himself, the leader of the Mummified Undead, was severely beaten and defeated by the Saurians. Now it's time for revenge. It's a rematch, and this time the king will take the battle to the Saurians in their own environment, the swamp. All the rules you need are included in the King's Wrath starter set, and I'm going to follow the exact setup and mission rules, so we will play by the kitchen table rules again with 3 objectives, exactly the same rules. But as I mentioned in my video, the army lists are not exactly official. They don't match what you can build in the army builder, and that is a bit annoying. So in this rematch, I will build the army lists after the army builder, so you can build the exact same forces that I deploy here. And that takes a few changes. And again, if you want to see the beginner-friendly army lists in the starter set, go watch that video. Let's begin with a look at the king and his Mummified Undead. The king himself is built almost exactly like he is in the starter set. He's still armed with a dual heavy hand weapon. His herald is built as a skeleton leader. He has a quality and defense of 5, which is bad compared to the starter set. He's still armed with a great weapon. And then instead of skeleton warriors, we have 3 royal guards. They have a way better quality of 3 and a defense of 4, and they are armed with heavy hand weapons. All of the undead are undead. They were not undead in the starter set, they were fearless, but now they are officially undead. The Saurians have deployed opposite the Mummified Undead, and the Saurian veteran is built the same as in the starter set. With him he has a Gecko Chameleon, and he suffers from the same bad quality and defense as the Herald. It's worse than in the starter set. And then instead of geckos we have to use chameleons. So we have 3 chameleons with a quality and defense of 5, the same as in the starter set, and they are also armed with blowpipes and hand weapons. The blowpipes are poisonous, and we get good shot, scout, stealth, and strider with the chameleons. And all the Saurians are fearless, and the veteran is also a predator. If we build the 2 armies this way, the Saurians will be worth 155 points, and the Mummified Undead 150. There are 3 objectives on the battlefield exactly as described in the King's Wrath rules, and it's a kitchen table-sized battlefield. All distances will be cut in half. Whoever controls the most objectives at the end of round 4 will be the winners. The Mummified Undead were defeated in the last battle. Can the king get his revenge in this rematch? Let's see and go to the roll-off. The Saurians will this time roll the black Onepagerules dice, and the Mummified Undead will roll these pale dice. And it looks like it's a victory for the Mummified Undead. The king will activate first, but just before we activate and get into the first round, the chameleons have their scout ability that enables them to move up to 6 inches before the first round. And they will do so. Round 1. The king will send his herald, the skeleton champion, in first. He will move his maximum distance of 6 inches, not enough to get him to the objective, but he's on his way. The first chameleon here will also rush his max distance of 6 inches, and that will take him close enough to the objective to capture it. So objective number 3 here is now on Saurian hands. Next up, a royal guard will activate. He is undead, but he's not slow, so he can also move 6 inches. That will take him here to the edge of the swamp. I should mention that none of the forces are able to pass through the water on the battlefield, so the Gecko champion here will also move around. The king himself, the royal champion as he is, will be up next, and he's heading for the first objective. This chameleon will have to climb and pass over the rock to get closer to the objective, so that is his movement. The chameleons are the only units with ranged weapons. All the mummified undead are melee units, so there is typically a lot of movement in the first round. This royal guard will also rush 6 inches forward. And then we have the veteran. He could go 2 different ways, and he will choose to accompany his Gecko champion to the left of the battlefield. The final royal guard will also move forward. They seem to concentrate on the central objective. And that leaves the final chameleon. He will only move 3 inches because he'll take a shot with his blowpipe. It has a range of 9 inches, so he can target a royal guard. He has 1 shot, and he's a good shot, so he will shoot with a quality of 4 and still miss. No hits. And with 5 units on both sides, that was the final activation of the first round. The forces are closing in on the objectives and on each other. So far, the Saurians have captured 1 objective, and they are technically the leaders after round number 1. Let's go to round 2. The Undead will activate first again, and the Herald is really eager to get his hands on some Saurian flesh. So he charges the closest chameleon. He forgets all about objectives. He wants blood. He has 3 great weapon attacks. He'll hit on 5s, and he will miss with each and every one of them. It's AP 2, so it's a really hard hit if he hits, but he didn't. The chameleon can fight back now, only with 1 hand weapon, and it's AP nothing. And he will hit with a 5, so it's a close miss. Now, the Herald will move 1 inch back, and that will take him close enough to the objective to capture it. The chameleon at objective 3 will stay close, move slightly forward, and target another royal guard with his blowpipe. He'll hit on a 4. There is no cover or anything, so if he hits, and he does not. These blowpipes are really tricky to handle, apparently. The royal guard here will charge the same chameleon that just fought the Herald. They seem eager to clear the enemies out of the central part of the battlefield. He'll hit with a 3, and that's a hit. And the weapon is AP 1. That will force the chameleon to roll a 6. And he will fail his defense roll and take 1 wound. He will be the first to roll on the wound chart. Let's see if he also is the first casualty of this match. Ooh, he barely makes it with a 4. He is shaken though. That still enables him to fight back. He has already fought before. He is shaken. It takes a 6 to hit anything, and of course he'll miss. But the royal guard will be forced 1 inch back. With the chameleon here still holding up, it's time for the secondary forces to activate. The Gecko champion will charge in, and he will contest the central objective, and he will charge the Herald. He'll hit with 5s, 3 attacks, and that is simply pathetic. The Herald has already fought. He has a chance to fight back, but he will hit with 6s. And he is also far from anything. Those 2 lieutenants are swinging at each other, but they hit nothing but air. The king is too far away from enemy units and objectives, but he can still draw some attention, and he will rush his maximum distance of 6 inches really close to objective number 1. That move by the king will draw the attention of the Saurian veteran, and he will change his direction and rush towards objective 1 and the king. It could very well again be a fight between the Saurian veteran and the king that will determine the outcome of this battle. This royal guard will move towards objective 3, he's not close enough to contest it. And the Chameleon here will remove his shaken condition. The final Royal Guard will follow the King. And that leaves only one Chameleon to activate, the one on the rock. And he is close enough to shoot at the King and at the Royal Guard. First, he will move to the objective and claim it. Great move. And then he will target the Royal Guard. He will shoot his Blowpipe, and again, no hits. The Saurians have had a few shots at the Mummified Undead, but they have so far not been able to hit them or threaten them in any way. But they hold 2 objectives now at the end of round 2, and they contest the central objective. Let's proceed to the 3rd round. The Undead activate first again, but not the King. Instead, the Royal Guard here will attack the Saurian veteran and try to take some of his life away from him, and he hits with a roll of 6. Only one attack, it's AP 1. The Saurian veteran has a good defense of 3, and he rolls a 6. A good hit, but an equally capable defense. Now, the veteran can fight back. He will hit the Royal Guard twice with his heavy club. And the Royal Guard will block 1 of the hits. He'll take 1 wound. And the roll on the wound chart is a 4, so he will just make it. He's shaken. He'll block the way in front of the Saurian veteran, but he didn't manage to hurt him. At the opposite end of the battlefield, this Chameleon will step back and then fire a shot with the Blowpipe at a Royal Guard. And again, there will be no hits. They are supposed to be good shots. Well, not today. This Royal Guard will charge in. First, he will contest the objective, and then he will attack the Chameleon. Again, with a quality of 3 and 1 attack, that's a hit. And the Chameleon must roll 6. He makes the defense roll. These 2 armies are chopping away at each other, but no real casualties. And the Chameleon can fight back, but will not hit. So this objective is now contested by both. So the Chameleon that was just attacked will now activate. Also step back and fire the Blowpipe at the other Royal Guard. Again, a 4. Ooh, and this time it's a hit with the Blowpipe, and it's poisonous. So the Royal Guard will have to defend with a roll of 4. And it's a 5, which is ideal. A roll of 6 would have been a reroll. But that hit is saved and no damage. Instead, the Royal Guard will activate and charge. His target is the Gecko champion. And he needs a 3. He will hit its AP 2. The Gecko champion has a defense of 5. So he will not save and take 1 wound. He has top 3, so he is far from down, but he's wounded. The Gecko champion will choose to fight back 3 attacks, and he hits with 2 of them. They are AP nothing, but they are poisonous. And there is 1 save, but that's a reroll, and he will save the 2nd attempt. So 1 hit and 1 is saved. But with 1 wound, he will have to roll on the wound chart. When it's a 4 again, they are really close to the edge, but he is shaken. He will have to back off here with his 1 wound, but he's still on the battlefield. Now the Gecko will immediately activate and attack the Skeleton champion, but he has already fought, so he'll need 6s and no hits. And the Herald can fight back. He has not fought this round, so he will hit with 5s and no hits. They are really not that good. So the Gecko will move back, and now both of them have fought, but of course the Herald can still activate later in this round. Now the king himself, he must have some kind of tactic and approach to this battle. He will move in towards the objective and charge the Chameleon, and he will hit with 3 of his dual heavy hand weapon attacks. They are AP1, so it takes 6s for the Chameleon. That looks like close to impossible, and he will save none of them. So 3 hits. And he rolls a 4 on the wound chart. First casualty of this battle. The king moves in and swings his dual hand weapons and cuts down the Chameleon. And he also takes over objective number 1. The Saurian veteran must interfere, but a royal guard is in his way, and he has already fought, but still he will hit with one of his attacks. And it's a 6, and he's a predator, so that will give him another attempt, but he will fail that one. So 1 hit it is. The royal guard must defend with a 5, and he fails. So he takes his 2nd wound in this battle. He will roll on the wound chart once again, and it's a 4. Too much. The royal guard turns into dust, and the veteran has cleared the way. Final activation is the Herald. He has already fought, but he can still try to do some damage on the Gecko champion. But no. And the Gecko champion, of course, can fight back, and he will hit. Unexpectedly, he will hit with 2 of his attacks. He has fought several times, but he is still capable of doing damage. And the Herald will save 1 of the hits and take 1 wound. Both of them are wounded now, and that will conclude the 3rd round. At this moment, the king has control over objective number 1. Objective 2 in the middle of the battlefield is contested by both, and the same for objective 3. Technically, the Mummified Undead lead the battle at this very moment, before the 4th and final round. In the final round, the Saurians will activate first. This Chameleon will draw back and fire the Blowpipe at the Royal Guard here. If he can take him down, the objective could be theirs, but yet again, a roll of 1. These Blowpipes are complete disasters. So the Royal Guard is free to charge in and try to claim the objective. With his heavy hand weapon, he rolls a 5. Enough to a solid hit. And with the Chameleon's weak defense, he'll need a 6. He rolls another 1. A lot of 1s at the moment. He'll take 1 wound, and he'll be lucky if he can roll 1 again. Well, in this case, it was good, because he's only shaken. But the Royal Guard will take over the objective, as long as the Chameleon is shaken at least. The Gecko champion now has a chance to prove himself. If he can hit the Herald twice, he can remove him, and there are 2 hits. The Herald is forced to roll 5s to block these hits. And it's a poisonous hand weapon, so a 6 is no good. He will fail 1 defense roll, and he will have to re-roll the other. So far, he will take 1 wound, and he will roll a 6 again. Otherwise, he would have taken his 3rd wound, and that would have been really bad for him. Now he has 2 wounds, but he's still standing, and he can fight back. And this time, he also hits twice. That takes 6s for the Gecko champion to defend. And he's also already wounded, and he will fail both defense rolls. He'll take 2 more wounds for a total of 3, and he is now forced to roll on the wound chart. He could be out of this battle. No, he rolls a 4. Very close, but he's shaken, and that means he can no longer contest the objective. The Herald will take over the central objective on the battlefield, and with the Gecko champion already activated, he has a really good chance of defending that objective. With his lieutenant, the Herald, doing good, the king himself must now in action. So he charges against the Saurian veteran with 4 attacks and 4 hits. They are AP1. The Saurian veteran has a strong defense, but he will have to come up with rolls of 4. Otherwise he could be slain. Ooh, and a great defense roll. He will take only 1 wound. He is too tough and powerful to be taken down in just 1 attack. And now he can fight back, not with 4, but 3 attacks. And he will hit with 2 of them. That will not be enough to eliminate the king. No matter the roll here, the king will stand, and he will defend 1 of the hits and take 1 wound. And he will move back, still guarding the objective. The 2 leaders have both fought now, but this was only round 1. The Saurian veteran will activate and charge in against the king. He will contest the objective, but he will also have his 3 attacks. Now he needs 6s, and he will not hit with any of them. And the king can fight back with 4 attacks, also with 6s to hit. At least there is a chance here, and none of them will hit. They are too tired. So the Saurian veteran will back off, but he will still contest the objective, and I guess that will be the final status of objective number 1. Now the Royal Guard here can only remove his shaken, and the Chameleon here can do the same, once again contesting objective number 3. So with 2 objectives contested by both, the battle is decided in the middle of the battlefield with the Herald's victory over the Gecko champion. He claimed the middle objective, and that won this highly tactical battle for the Mummified Undead, and the king got his revenge. None of the forces really managed to thin out the enemy, so 4 Saurians will withdraw from this battle defeated. They had a huge victory in the first match, but they saw themselves outmaneuvered this time by the king and his Mummified Undead. Thanks a lot for watching this battle report. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you'll join me for future bad reps.